Okay, with that being said, I love to give shout out to those that usually come very early. And today here I had Justice to be here very, very early. One of our media persons. So and then afterwards I had Christian and more. And then I had Victor, Edu Brazil, and Pascal. And right now I'm having David T or something like that. So I welcome everybody to the meet. This is a continuation of the session we had yesterday on if, else, loops, and functions. We are unable to finish it. So today we said we are going to round it up so that by tomorrow, sorry, not tomorrow, by Monday we'll start a new phase on modules is not something we are going to spend our time on, because if you understood header files and global variables in C, then definitely this other one here should be very easy for you. But however it is, we'll still explain it for everybody to understand. Okay. So before I start, I would love somebody to give me or tell me what he or she learned from yesterday's class. Just give me a recap. Some of the things you took home. Okay. So if you have something to say, you can raise up your hand now, and I'll give you a chance to speak. But if in the case nobody raises their hands up, I'm going to call names. You know how I do it. So does anybody have something to say? What you learned yesterday from what we did? Anybody? Okay, definitely I'm going to call names now. I'm going to call names. Maybe I'll count 1 to 3. First, I want to ask, Christian and Mob, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, but not yet.
Okay.
It's double.
Okay, since your mic is now on mute, please tell me, what did you learn from yesterday's class?
What did I learn from this?
Okay, what did we do yesterday?
What did we do yesterday? We did if, like, using loop in Python. If statement, if, and else. Then you also touch the while loop.
Okay, so what?
I learned how in the visualizing the quality index. Like when just like arrays, when you are asked to print a particular index from a string or something.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here with you.
So I learned that one. Then the decision making, when you have to use the if statement, if and else. I also learned that as well.
Okay. Okay. Okay, wow. Good. Okay, that's very good. So I have just one last thing to ask you. What do we use the if-else statement for?
We use it for decision making, to check conditions, if this is true or not. Then you print a particular thing when it is true and when it's false. Basically for decision making.
Okay. And please, okay, it's correct. You're very, very correct. But the part where you said to print a particular thing, let us not use that word to print a particular thing, because it may not be it may not be that we want to print something. So the word you should use is to execute a particular block of code.
All right.
Yes. Okay. When we use the print, it was just to show us a demonstration of how it works. Okay. All right. So that's okay. So today we'll be moving in. Today we'll be moving into the workbook for a while, and then we'll move into, because yesterday we were unable to finish our work. So we said today we'll rush it through and follow up with our functions. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so as we already know, loops are used to repeat a block of code or blocks of code till a particular condition is met. Yeah, for example, you want to print only number one, maybe 20 times. So you could give it a condition that, okay, do this till something happens, then you can stop. That is basically what we use a loop for. And yesterday we touched for loops. We saw how we could use it. Mostly we use it in some of our attacks, and it worked. So today we'll be moving into the while loop. Okay, so the while loop too, just like the for loop, it could be used to repeat a particular block of code until a particular condition is met. Okay, so let's check how we could write our while loop. You write your while keyword, and then you give a space, and then you give it your test expression. Give it your test expression, and then with a colon. After you give it your colon, you hit enter, and whatever comes inside of this place becomes the body of your while loop. So that's basically how you could write your while loop. What am I doing? This is basically how you could write your while loop. So the indentation of this place becomes the body of your while loop. Okay, that's what is going to be executed if this test expression evaluates to true. But if otherwise it becomes false, then this is not going to be executed. Yeah, that was the word you should be using, execute, because here printing anything, we could be doing a particular thing. So this is basically how we write a while loop. Okay, so what I wanted to really point out, yesterday I was unable to point that out, is that whenever we are writing a while loop, we should give it an exit condition. Okay, so that we won't have an infinite loop. Yeah, for example, let's say I want to print the number 1, right, 20 times. Okay, so I have my number equals to, I'm just thinking of this thing, I'm not really thinking of what I'm writing. So while let's say what could I do here? Okay, while let's say I want to print it 20 times. So I'm going to give that num equals to 20. That's what I want to. So I will say while num is less than 20. Print the number, or I could just say print 1. Give to them. So it says while num is less than 20, we should print 1. Okay, so if I should run this code now, it will keep on printing 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 till infinitely, till our PC or our storage is filled, and then it will freeze. Okay, so that is why we are always supposed to give an exit statement. Okay, so what is an exit statement? An exit statement says that is basically going to make this expression here become false. Okay, so my exit statement could be that if let's say if none, okay, let me not even go into that. Let me just use another thing so that we could really understand what I'm doing. So I'm going to take a user input. Let's say, okay, let me not use num. We'll be using that for a while. Let me use name. And then I'll say input, I'll say enter your name. Enter your name. So we want it that if the user does not enter anything, it will keep on asking the user for input. Okay? Just like where you could have a form on the internet and they said you should input your name. And then you don't want to put your name, you want to skip that part, and it will keep asking for it. So that is basically how you could use a while loop. So I would say while name is equals to nothing, right? You should keep on asking the user for their input. Okay? While name is equals to nothing, that means while the user does not input anything, you should keep asking the user for something. Or here I could say, just to make the picture there different, I could say you didn't enter your name. You didn't enter your name. Then you enter it again. Then when the user finally enters their name, we could print it out to the console and say your name is, put it inside of this place and say name. So if I should run this program, okay, I didn't close this. If I should run this program,
what name equal to?
Okay, sorry about that. I should run this program now. I put name equals to, right? Line 4. Okay. Sorry, I copied that. Okay, so this is asking me for my name. Let's say I don't put my name, I hit enter. To keep asking me for my name, I'm hitting enter. So I'll keep running this. I'll hit enter. I didn't put anything. So it will keep asking me for that until I put in something and say, okay, my name is David, and then it will exit and print my name. So that is basically how we could use a while loop. So basically, where we use a while loop mostly is when you want to, let's say, I'm trying to validate a user's input. Yeah, so you could basically use a while loop there more. But when you want to iterate through a range of values, I think the for loop is best used there, although you could use either of them for whatever you want to do, depending on how you write your program. So that is basically how a while loop could be used. Okay, we are not supposed to spend time on it because it's something that we've done in our previous classes. So here is just to learn how to write them. So if you have other programs from C where you use a while loop, you could go back and rewrite those programs using your syntax in Python or writing it in Python again and see how it works. It's just the same thing, but in different languages. So before I continue, I'm going to give this for anybody who has question on while loop. Somebody was asking on while loop. So I don't know if that person is cleared now. Anybody? Okay, I think we are all clear on that. So we're moving into our function. So let's just go into function. Function is something we already know how to do in C. So it's just to learn how to write it here on Python. So what is function, or what are functions in programming? Functions are basically just you breaking down your large programs into smaller units so that you could be able to control or review your program if there be a mistake or something like that. So functions are just you breaking down your code into smaller pieces so that you have more control over what you are doing. Okay, let's say, I don't know, okay, let me use our simple shell for an example. They asked us to write simple shell, right? That's to write everything, how it displays, the functions it should have, all those things. Now you could write everything inside, like I could just write everything here from A to Z, right? It will work. Yeah, it will work. But then I may have some part that I'm going to repeat. Okay, let's say I want to write the part that says it should display something to the screen. Okay, maybe see how this thing is, it blinks, right? Let's say after each line of text I have, this should still blink. So which means if I'm to do something like that, I'm going to write something that will write this, and then I'll repeat the block of code that says this should blink. And then I'll write something else here, and then I'll repeat the block of code that says this should blink. So instead of me having to rewrite this particular thing over and over again, I could put it inside a function. So all I need to do is, after writing each line of this, I'll just call the function, and I don't need to write all those codes again. So that is basically what functions are. Okay, so I think today I was writing a particular program. It was more like a challenge, and then mostly I'm not too good at, let's say I sit down and I begin to create different files and start to write inside. Rather, I'm good at, I'll just write my whole thing. I'll be using my comment to tell you this is this, this is that, this is that. Then when I'm done, I can now cut it and put inside different files. Okay, because let's say, for example, that was what they wanted us to do in simple shell. But some persons were mistaking it that this is difficult, but no, just you breaking down your functions into different files. So that is basically what functions are. So what example could I give us now? Okay, let's say we know this game, right? Where we have something like this. Let me say 1, 2, no. Where we have x, maybe 0. I've forgotten how we call it. I think it's a tic-tac-toe game or something like this. So I've wanted us to write this game in C, but I think I forgot about it for a while. So we know this game. We know how this game works, right? Where we have to, where you have, when you yourself have completed here to be of the same sign, that's your own sign, you win. Or it could be this way, or it could be in diagonal form, right? That is basically how the game works. So I'm wanting us to do this, but we couldn't do it. Now, to actually write this particular game, you are not going to write everything inside of it. If not, it's going to be much on you. What you could do is to identify what you need inside of this game and then begin to write them one after the other. And the first thing basically you could do in this, of course, when you open the game, the user has to see the positions that are available or that are open for them to choose, right? So you could write a function that is going to display this to the screen, first of all. And after displaying it to the screen, what happens? The user gets to, okay, say, I want to pick this particular position and put X inside there. So you write a function that says, okay, I'm going to take user input, right? Then after that, what should happen? You should put that user input on the position that the person choose. So each of these things, I'm going to write them as functions. I think we should do that now to, I don't know, we could do that to see how functions really, really work. So I'm going to ask the house, should we forfeit what we are doing and write this game now as an example of functions? I would like somebody to answer me.
I think we should start with something simpler.
Okay, we should start with something simple. No, I believe we already know how to write functions in C. So the difference is just to write it in Python. Okay, let's start with that. So we know how to write function in C programming, where you have to give your data type, then your function name, and in parentheses you pass your parameters. But in Python, this is how you write the function. You put your defined keyword. This is short for define, which means I'm defining my function. Then you give your function name and you open your parentheses. Just like in C, you could have parameters here. Let's say I have name here and I have age here. And unlike C, where you have to define each of your variables so that you could hold a particular kind of data type, in Python, you don't need to do that. So you just go ahead and pass in your parameters. And you could declare your function without having to put in your parameters here, depending on what you want to use your function for. So I think let me just leave this. And then afterwards, you put your colon, you hit enter. We know that for every function we write, for example, in C, we end it with a semicolon. But in Python, for every function you write, you end it with a colon. Now, a function could not just, when I say functions, I'm not referring to just this as function. When you use the print, it is a function, okay, yeah, that has been defined. We know all these things that has been defined inside of another file. That's why we're able to use it. Okay, so you too could write your own function just like this. And then anytime you call it, it's going to print out something. Just like how when you use the print without having to write any code and then it prints something to the console. Okay, which means they've written the function already. So what they just do is to call the print here and it works. Okay, let's move on. So you put your colon and whatever goes inside of this place becomes the body of your function that you want to execute whenever you call this function. So we know that this is basically function definition. As far as it has a body, a function definition, but if it doesn't, it is a function declaration. I don't think in Python we have function declaration. It's just definition straight up. So let's move on. So I could say, I could just something very simple. I could just say, let me just print the name. I'll just say my name is name, and my age is, I'll give it the age variable, and then I close that. closer. So this is basically what my function should do. It should just print what is going to be here and what is going to be here. So I'm going to call my function. And the way I want to do that, let me take a user input, or let me give it, okay, user name. Let me call it user name. And then I'll say input, enter your name. And then for user age, I'll say, I'll typecast it to be a number. It's not really necessary that I do that. Right? And then I would love to call my function. The reason I did this is because I want to call my function and pass this as an argument inside of the function call. So in calling my function, we know how to call our function. We write the function name, and if it has two parameters like this, right, then the argument should be a match to what we have here. These are things we already know. So in this case, I'm going to pass in my username here with a comma and pass in my user age here. And basically that's all. So if I should run this program, if my program is correct, then it's asking me for my name here, which is what I have here. I would say David. And then for my age, I would say I'm 12 years old and my name is David and my age is 12 because I just called the function now. And how it works is because I pass this inside of this, it replaces this with this, and that is why we're having name inside of this place. So here is becoming our username here, which is what we have here. And user age replaces this place because age is what we put here. And this is what we have. So this is basically our function here, how we could write. And this is just a basic part of it. You could do something more than this. This is just an example. Okay, so this is the basic form of having a function in Python. There are other things you could do, like having this name to have a default value, or other things you could do, but this is the simplest form of having a function in Python. So before I move on to any other thing, I want to ask if anybody has a question. But I believe we really understand this because we are coming from a programming language already. Okay, Blessing has a question. Okay.
Hi,
Go on,
good evening, David.
Hi, Blair.
There's something I've been wanting to ask someone. Just like in C, where your function cannot run without the main function. Is there nothing like that in Python? How do you know the beginning? How does it know the beginning of the code to execute or whatever? I don't know.
Okay. Normally in programming languages, so the codes are being read line by line. So it starts from the number one, line 1, line 2, line 3, and goes down like that. So it's executing them line by line. So that is basically how it works here. Okay. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yes, it does. But what I'm trying to say, like for this code now,
yeah,
when it's executing, does it start from the function?
Yes, of course. It starts seeing this.
It starts from the function. Okay.
Yes, it's saying this, but basically this is just my function definition. So I'm not telling you to do anything. Remember, our function only works when we call the function.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So this is not doing anything at all. So this is where it works. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Jackson, please speak.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes, I can.
Okay. To put a little response to Blessing's question. Like in C programming, you could give, for instance, the normal process. Most times you see the file with the main function or the main block mostly is named main.c, for instance. But you could as well give it a name, but inside there you specify your main block, which is int main, blah, blah, blah. But now in Python, we have something related to it. And you could give the name to a particular file. Then when you're importing, like for instance, you see, we do like your header file when you say you create your guided includes. Yeah, so now in Python, we have something similar. I think that was part of what we thought part today. When you're importing, you make adding the norm, or should I say a principled way of writing your program is to create something that looks like that main block, whereby you now say if the name of the particular function you're about to run now, or the name of that file is equal to main, where you're using your magic, what they call them, is it magic variables? Where you have your if underscore name underscore is equal to quotation, then inside your quotation you have underscore main underscore. Then you can now execute your program. So that particular code block now acts as your main block that will now call every other thing.
Okay. It's
I don't know if
sounding
you
very
understand.
Yes,
Okay, thank
I
you
get.
so much. Thank you so much. This makes a whole lot of sense because when I was doing task 0, I went ahead to code without that underscore main thing he's talking about, and some of my checks did not work. So it was when I started searching. To be sincere, I didn't go through all the materials. So thank you. This actually answers my question, and it's helpful.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Okay, good. Thank God. Okay, great. Okay, thank you there for adding to that. So I believe this is coming from our mod. Is it module? Yeah, I believe so. Okay, thank you, Mr. Dixon. Christiana Moore.
Welcome, sir.
Okay, please.
Okay, please. Is study teacher the same person as Dixon?
Yes, he is.
Please, can he repeat himself? I didn't get him very well, please.
Okay, it's going to sound very, very abstract, but yes, he could. Dixon, please.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry to repeat myself. I was saying that in C, we have the main block.
Yeah.
We could as well replicate something like that in Python, whereby we use the magic variables. Now, for us to create a replica of the main block in Python, we use like a conditional statement. If underscore, let's say double underscore name is equal to name. Remember, your name is underscore name underscore is equal to, in quotation, underscore main. Don't get me wrong. The first one was name. The second one is now main.
What does that name stand for? Is it a variable?
Main, it's now replicating. If the name of whatever I want to run now is the main block,
Okay.
then import the modules and start running code. So now that particular block now stands as your main block in your Python. And when execution wants to start, it starts from there. It just scans through your code. Then when it sees where that main block is, it starts from there. Then you know your main block starts calling your different functions or modules from different files. So when it encounters that main, then your program starts running from there and starts calling in different functions.
Okay. Okay, it makes more sense now. Thank you.
Okay. This may be sounding very, very abstract, but I believe if you could I believe when we are doing something on the module, it makes more sense to us.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, good evening. Okay, so that code block that it's actually talking about, yeah, it's majorly applicable while you're running your programs as a while you're running your code, while you're trying to execute your code as a script. You're trying to run the file as a script. Then you're like, if the name of this program is equal to the main, it's actually different when you run your program as a script and when you run it via the Python interpreter. I don't know if you understand. I don't know if anyone.
I didn't come again.
Like, it's actually quite different if you run your program as a script, and it's different if you run it via the Python interpreter. Although, yeah, the Python interpreter actually executes both of them, yeah, but it's quite different when you do Python 3, then the name of your program. So, and when you run your program as a script with the dot and slash with the name of the program.
Yeah.
Yes, different.
So this is actually applicable when you run your program as a script. You get. So it's so you're trying to tell it if the name of this program is this. Okay, let me not digress because I actually came from code 9. You get. So you actually meet it in front. It's just like if your program is this, then you have to import this and do this. It's more like there is this thing we met in. There is this. I've actually forgotten what it is we actually came across in C. You get. It's just like telling your program that. Okay, it's actually best applicable when you want to move the program or when you want to control the like. I don't know how to explain it. When you want to control the program and tell the program that I want you to do this if this is being run as this, if an argument is being passed, you get. So when you pass an argument, because you can actually pass an argument like the way we pass arguments in the main function in C, you get. So when you want to pass an argument, like this control structure will actually help you to get that argument. So like, it will actually help you to make that argument applicable. So when you be like, yeah, when you run this as this, you get when the name of the file is main, you get. I actually don't know how to explain it though. I wish I can use to write it.
Okay. Can you share your screen now?
No, I cannot share my screen now.
Okay, if you could help us, if you could help us put it in writing and post it in the comment box here, it will help us.
I'll just put it in writing and I'll bring up a code too.
Okay, please. Thank you.
Compliment that, no problems. But it's something you will come across. It's not something you should just rush now. It's something you still come across.
Oh, okay. Thank you very, very much for that. And thank you, everybody, for your contribution. And now you see how important it is to always be here. If we were not here now, we wouldn't have encountered this and learned this particular one now. So please, let's always endeavor to be online here. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're about checking out for some of the tags that had function, because this is the basic form of function, as I said. There are other ways we could go about this, like giving default values to this and stuff like that. But this is the default way of writing our function in Python. So let's go into some of our tags here to see if we have anything we could do to apply that. Number 6, inventing. This is not a function. This had a function. Write the program now. Write the function that checks for lowercase characters. And okay, I think this makes sense than all what we have been doing. Okay, we've written this particular code in C. If everybody can actually remember, we've written this in C. So let's also see how we could also do it in Python and see how it works. So I'll be taking let me see the conditions here. It says write the function that checks for lowercase character. Prototype should be this. This is like how we should define our function. And then returns true if C is lowercase. Now C here would be anything that we pass into our function. returns false if otherwise. We are not allowed to import any module. We are not allowed to use any of the methods inside of our string function. And then they talked about this. I believe we read this, but if you didn't, you should also click that link there to know what C does. Okay, so I'm going to play this. Let me copy this. Copy. Okay, so let's write the function. So it says we should write a function that checks if what is passed inside of our function here is actually a lowercase. Yeah, if it is a lowercase, it should return true. So let's see. So basically, they said we could use the odd function, or I don't know if I'm going to call it function or method. Could use that. Now, what this actually does is that it checks for. Should I say it converts a character? It converts a character to. Let me not use number. You know, yesterday when we wrote a function to print A to Z, and then what we used were actually the ASCII codes, right? I'm going to call that. Now, this is what this does. So this could convert, let's say, C to the number itself. I hope that's understandable. You could also read about it and you see how it works. So I would say if, then here is just like I'm typecasting. It's just like saying if int what's stored inside of C, let's say it was passing as a string, maybe they passed 2 here as a string, and then I'm converting that 2 from a string to an int. So that is basically what is going on here exactly too. That was what I thought when I wrote this particular thing. So it says if that equals to 97, because 97 is actually A, and here it's talking about lowercase. So we are checking for our lowercase here. So if this is equals to 97 or greater than, that's where we are starting from. And of course, we want to take it to a particular range, and odd C. And odd C here is less or equals to 123. Is it 123 or 124 or 122?
22.
If it is wrong, 20. Okay, thank you for that. It should return true. Else, it should return false. So I think this was basically one of the simplest things to write on functions here. So this was basically how our function was supposed to look like. So if this greater or equals to this is like our A, and this takes it to Z. So if this happens, then return true. But if it doesn't, it should return false. If I run this, it's not going to print out anything.
Sir Dave, your second odd.
Okay, odd C. Okay, thank you for that. Okay,
why don't you just change it to range?
Okay, I could do that too, but this was how I wrote it, and I felt everybody was going to understand it. But you could also, just like yesterday, what we did, when I write this, I would say we should write it in other forms that you wrote yours and send it to the inbox so that everybody could have access to it and compare it with theirs. Because I believe the best way to learn is when you read other people's code. So please, if you wrote this in another form too, you could write it now and post it here so that we could also see how it worked. Okay, just like what we did yesterday. So basically, this was what I did, and I don't know if this worked though. Let me even check. Okay, it worked. I don't usually check my code because I do it in the morning when I have chance. Then later on, I will come back to it. So this is one way of doing this, and it worked. Okay, so let's check another one. This one says we should write a function that prints a string in uppercase followed by a new line. So I thought that we should do something different today, that I could call on anybody here and say, okay, since you are viewing from there, you should also attempt to write something. Because I believe we are understanding this. Let us not just watch. So I don't know if there's anybody whose PC is on there and you're on the Meet on your Chrome. You could want to just go on your online compiler here and try to write that particular task and explain to us. Let us see if you also understand the functions we are doing here. Anybody who would want to attempt, let me see if I did that. Okay, I did it. Anybody who would want to attempt? Or if you're not with your PC there and you just feel you could also do it, you could explain to me. I'll be typing it, just so everybody could follow along. Anybody?
Do you actually want to do that particular tax, or are you talking about all the tax?
Yeah, no, just this one.
Which one is that? Uppercase.
To uppercase. It says write a function that prints a string in uppercase followed by a new line.
But you've not done the lowercase.
I think we've
did I
done
not
it.
get it?
Just
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't.
we've done it. Just finish it now.
Okay, the uppercase. Sorry, let me read
write
it again.
The string in uppercase.
You can only use two print function. You can only use one loop in your code. And all that's so important. Okay.
Okay. I think it's just saying we should convert what
it's
we
just more like
uppercase.
okay. Here is the way I did mine. All right.
Okay.
So I
should be writing it all. You want to share your screen?
No, I will just have to just explain to you the concept. Then you will just bring it up. Okay.
Okay. Let me copy the prototype. Okay, I'm with you now.
Okay, so I had a string array. You get an empty string array. You get then for loop is allowed, so just one for loop because you have to go through your range. Then whenever you get an uppercase, you go and put and store it in the string array. You go and concatenate it in the string array. Then whenever you check, because you're actually checking that that string that is being passed. You're checking every you're actually checking every character in that string that is being passed. So I used this if statement that if this character is not in the range of the lowercase, it's not in the range of 97 to 123, then it should. If it is not in the range, it should go and just concatenate it in the and it should just go and concatenate it in the string array. But if it is in the range, again, then it changes it to the opposite of that odd, which is CHR. Then C minus 32. Check. I think that should bring up.
Okay, I'm understanding what you are explaining now because I have an idea of what it should look like. But then there are some persons here who might not really like grab anything you're saying now. Okay, so if you could just also take me through the process of writing it.
Let's create the string array. Let's use maybe alpha or whatever is equal to just.
So what should I write?
Maybe let's use upper or alphabet. Let's use alphabet. So alphabet is equal to an empty string array, just double quotes.
Okay.
Yeah. Then now we have to create a for loop for what is being passed. So for let's say for character in string in str. Yeah. Then now we are checking for those characters now. Now we are checking if odd.
If odd.
Yeah, of character. Yeah, in the range of 97 to. No. In. I thought I used range. I thought I used range in.
Okay. In. Okay.
Yeah. Range.
Okay.
97, comma
1, 2, 2, or 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, because the last one is 1, 2, 2. Yeah. So that is if this character is within this range now, it has to change it to uppercase. So the way we change to uppercase is just we'll have to use the CHR, which is the opposite of the odd.
Okay.
CHR, then in brackets odd C, because odd CH. We are checking odd CH. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then out of the bracket minus 32. You know, in C, we actually came across this program whereby you have to subtract from the character to get the other character in the ASCII table. You know, 97 minus 32 now should give us the capital letter A.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So now that's this program here now, this line of code now, we're actually going to concatenate it now into our alphabet string array. So where you put CH now should be alphabet is equal to plus equal to. Where you put
So I should
no, that number 5 line, that's the 5th line.
yeah.
Here should be alphabet. Alphabet, you know, plus equal to. Alphabet plus equal to.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're concatenating whatever you get here into the string array to
Into the
then
string,
else,
okay.
else should just concatenate the CH. Else should just concatenate the CH into the alphabet. Without anything.
Right, CH.
So you do alphabet plus equal to CH.
Equals to CH.
Yeah, plus equal to. You know you're saving in the string array. Yeah, then you print out. You know your print should go outside the for loop. Outside the for loop.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because it's been saved already. No. You know you're going outside the function already. This is outside the function. Yeah, this is outside the for loop. Yeah, so we are using format. I think we are asked to use, please go back to the program. I think we are asked to use what formatting style? Is it string format?
No,
Okay,
you can
yeah.
only use no more than 2 print functions.
Yeah, with string format.
With
So
string
string format is
yes.
the dot format, then into bracket alpha.
Okay. How do you mean?
Yeah, so open and close curly brace. Yeah.
Then I'm printing string.
Close. No. Just
I shouldn't. Okay.
backspace. Then you close the curly brace. Then outside the quote, dot format. Then into quotes, yeah, alpha. Alphabet.
That is the alphabet.
Yeah, the alphabet, yeah. So this should print it. Let's see.
Okay. I shouldn't add N.
No, you don't need to add anything.
Okay.
No, yeah, this is okay. Now.
Okay. Let me
You have
call
to-
my. Okay.
So now
Let
you
me
have
call
to
my
go
function.
copy there.
I should do what?
You have to go copy the main program. You know, this is just a function.
Oh yeah, that's true. Won't this work if I call the function?
Where do you want to call the function? You don't need to call the function. You just need to copy the program and put it beneath it.
But it can call the function from underneath from the maybe like
I don't call
line
the
10.
function
Don't
here.
call the
Yeah.
and put a string. Pass a string.
Like, I thought you actually wanted to test their... Okay, I thought you actually wanted to
No.
just copy. Okay, since you want to type...
No, I would. Yeah, I will try it. I will just try it and see.
All right.
Right. So I could pass anything here, right?
Okay, so yeah.
What was this supposed to do to all right, I print the string in uppercase. Okay. So I could pass this, right?
Yeah, just streets. You can type in streets. Let's see.
Okay, it works. It works. So let me do this. See? Okay, it works. Wow, that's very nice.
So this is
Why I thought of
actually
this
this is actually something we did in
in C.
In C. Yeah, if you can
Yes,
actually
we've
go
done
back,
this.
I think I actually went
Yes.
back to C before I could understand the program again. I am not actually someone that I'm not actually someone who writes code to just save it in my memory. I don't know. I write code. That's why we have a GitHub repository. I just go back anytime to remember. I cannot tell you that this code now, I wrote it, I saw it and I wrote it. No, I had to go back to my C program.
Okay. Okay, nice. Because the way I actually thought of this was very, very different. I think let me check it. Okay, I've done it. The way I did it was something like this, but I think I didn't add this line. Something like that. But I didn't add this line and somehow I did something different here. But at the end of the day, it worked after having to try and try and try.
Wait, you used
tell me
the
error.
wait. Sorry, you used a different kind of string format.
No, not like I use a different kind of yeah, but somewhere here I did something different. Something different here, and I didn't use this. So although when I started it was giving me errors, I had to remove something, remove, and then added till I got it right. And once I got it right, I didn't change it again because once it works, you leave it the way it is.
Well, me, I know you can actually print without using the without using this string array now alphabet. You can actually print directly from your if statements and the else. Instead
yes,
of
I think so. Yeah, I
so
think that's what I
actually,
did.
yes, our character. Then you can actually use print directly from here to print this.
Here, right?
Yeah, like if you delete
But
that
it's going to be outside.
If you delete that
Yes,
alphabet,
exactly. Yes, it should work. That was something. It was something of that sort I did.
so whenever it gets any small letter, it prints it. Then it keeps moving because the program doesn't end when it prints. So it prints and keeps moving.
Okay. So, and thank you very, very much for that. I just hope everybody's following up on this. Yeah, at least he has explained this line by line, so I expect everybody to be following up. But if you don't understand anything here, please you could ask your question now so that we could do it together. Anybody? Okay, Blessing has a question.
Hi, David. So, what I just wanted to say, please, if it's possible to copy and paste this on the chat box so that we can go through it again and try to understand what's going on.
Okay, of course, I will. Yeah. Okay, so please, does anybody have a question concerning this? If you don't understand it, please, you could ask now so that we could do it together. Someone might have another idea too. You could still bring it up and tell us how you did yours so we could learn more. Okay, so everybody understand. That's nice. But I think I love this particular thing here. I'll just go and check how I did mine and differentiate it. Someone's mic is... Okay, Christina, you have a question?
Yes. Please, what do you say that the command odd? What did you say that it does?
Okay, this, okay, for example now, this CH here is going to be a letter, right? Because it's inside of it's going to be a letter. And what we have here is numbers. So we are trying to print A to Z using the numbers that represent them, right?
Okay.
So this odd here, forgive me, I'm using the wrong word for it, but just to make us understand. So this odd here, what it does is that it's converting what we have inside of this place. It could be A, it could be B, it could be whatever we have. It's converting it to be a number too. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah, that is basically what this odd is doing.
Okay. Can I just explain a little to her about that?
Okay.
So this CHR and that odd. Okay, CHR is actually the opposite of the odd. You get. So if you could remember, in C, we cannot actually use alphabet in our codes. We have to use string representation. We have to use integer representation to get the string representation of the alphabet. And the ASCII, that's why they will ask you to go to the ASCII table to get the integer representation of the character you want to actually
Use.
Yeah. So this is just the odd is just going to tell the interpreter that okay, whatever that is being passed now in this CH, because this CH now is a variable. Yeah. So whatever that is being passed now inside this CH, give me the integer representation. Like give me what integer it is. So this odd now is actually going to be handling numbers. Yeah, but you are not actually seeing numbers. You get. It's actually going to be taking in alphabets and converting them to numbers, so that I can get the range of where that number is. Okay. Then when it has done that, then this CHR now is actually going to take numbers and convert it to characters. convert it to
Okay.
letters, to alphabet.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So I hope you understand that too. Someone else has a question. Okay. Your name is always hard for me to pronounce. So please ask your question. I told you to teach me how to pronounce it.
Okay, I'm called Alphonse. Yeah, you can call me Alphonse.
Alphonse, all right.
Yeah, so I would like to know where that CH comes from. Is it a keyword in Python?
This CH here?
Yeah.
No, this CH is something we are just using to iterate through this. It's just like when you say for I in something.
Okay.
Yeah. That is what it is. It's not a keyword.
Thank you.
All right, sir. Okay, so everybody's good now. We can move to the next thing. Okay, good. Now let's also check the next task. This is also a function. Okay, this one says write a function that prints the last digit of a number. I think we've done this. I don't know if we did this yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
We did it, right? Okay, so we'll move on from that one. Let's see. This one says write a function that adds 2 integers and returns the result. We've done this. Write a function that computes a to the power of b and return the value. We've done something. If we could do this, we can do that too. I think we should just focus on something that's write the function that prints the number from 1 to 100 separated by space. For multiples of 3, okay. We've done this in C too, and it was not as difficult as we thought it is. So here right now, I would love someone else to also write this for us. I could call names because I want us to be following, not just to learn the if, else, and everything, and we'll leave it behind. So I would love someone else to also give it a try in public here. Let us see if everybody's following up. Is there anybody who wants to volunteer or should just call a name? Please, I would love to call a name too, if nobody wants to volunteer. Is our Fizzballs. We've done this in C. We did it during our session here in C. So the same thing applies. Virus.
Yeah, okay. I can just give you the concept of.
No, I wouldn't want you to do something again. I would love another person to also give it a try.
Okay, my bad.
No, it's not like it's your bad. No, that's not what
No, of course, I understand.
Sure. Okay, so any other person, I'll call names right now, believe me. Okay, since nobody wants to give it a try, I'm going to call names now. Let me see. Okay, and Christiana, is you I'm trying to call now. I'm looking for you. Christiana.
Yes, David, I'm still laughing. I'm here. You've not lost me. I'm just laughing.
Okay, good. So I would love you to give this a try.
Ew.
This is one of the simplest things we have here because we've done it twice here in C.
Okay.
Is it possible?
Let me read it again.
Okay.
Multiples of 3 print please instead of the number. And for multiple of 5 print base. For numbers which are multiple of both 3 and 5, print please. Okay. I want to try.
Okay, do you want to share your screen?
No. I don't
Okay.
have the screen to share. Let me finish.
Okay, so please explain what this is saying we should do, and then also.
Okay. First of all, it says that we should print number 1 to 100, separated by a space.
Okay.
Then for multiple of 3, that's between 1 to 100.
Okay.
Like, okay, 3 is a multiple of 3, 6 is a multiple of 3, 9 is a multiple of 3. I'm just giving an instance. So those numbers that when you multiply them, you get a multiple of 3. Like, I don't know how to explain it further. That you should print fees. But for multiple of 5, like 5, 10, 15, 20, you should print booze. Now, for numbers which are multiple of both 3 and 5, okay, let me say 30. For instance, 30, 15.
Okay.
It's a multiple of 3. It's also a multiple of 5 that you should print these bulls, right?
Okay. Yes.
So I'll first of all say, let us, I don't know whether they call it function. Okay. Okay, yeah, nice one.
Okay. I should define our function, right?
Yes. Hello?
Okay. Yeah. I've defined it.
Okay, so now I want to use four statements.
Okay.
Okay, for number in range 1, since like what you said yesterday, since it's 1 to 100, we should add 1 to it, so we'll make it 101 instead.
Okay.
Okay. So now, to follow the conditions, okay, if norm modulo 3, that's for the multiples, number modulus 3,
Okay.
is equals to 0. This one is representing those numbers within 1 to 3, that is multiples of 3.
Okay.
So if it is equals to 0, print, they say we should print
Peace.
peace for that, yes.
Okay, I hope this works.
And they say we should give space, I mean.
Yes.
So we now use end.
Okay.
Okay. L if, the next one now, the next condition. So the next condition, we want to check for the multiples of 5. So we say L if number modulo 5.
Okay.
Modulo 5 equals to 0.
Okay.
We should print bulls. And you put the same space. So the last one now is to combine the two of them, right?
Okay. So I should use another L if.
Yes. So now say L if number modulus 3. Number modulus 3 is equals to 0. And number modulus 5 is equals to 0. 5 is equals to 0. That means this particular condition now, for that AND operator that is there, it has to be, as it meets the two conditions.
Okay.
I'm trying to explain, like it has to meet the two conditions. If not, it will not work. So if that is the case, we'll now print fees bulls.
Okay. Should end it with a space.
Yes.
Okay.
So the last one will now be else for those that doesn't fall in between all these numbers. I mean, do we need it?
I don't know.
Okay, for those that doesn't fall in between any of these numbers, it just print, I don't know, print the number. I don't know.
So what should I write? I should write
Number.
like this.
No, put it inside the, like a variable, that double, what do they call it? Curly brackets. Curly brackets.
Like this.
Yes, number.
I should do it like this.
Yes, but you could double quote too. You put them in. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The same end and space.
Okay.
I'm not sure that last one is actually important, but they didn't mention anything about it. But that is about that. I don't know if it will try.
Okay. I'll call our function now and see if it works. Okay. So our function didn't work. See what we have as our function. This is what we have as our output.
So that means it didn't work.
No, it's this is what we have on the screen. So I think you need to check your
Yes,
code.
it works now because this first one is 1. That's number.
But it's showing number. It's not showing. It's supposed to be showing like 1, 2, fees, 3.
Okay,
No.
it's supposed to be okay. Then that means in this last one, that place we put number. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm with you.
So in this last place that we put number, what else?
Okay, I'll just put the one you said I should put now and see. So there's something wrong. Okay, so we have one.
It's
two.
coming out now.
No, it did not come out. We don't have our fees board. What we have is just fees and boards, fees. We don't have
We don't
fees
have our
board.
fees rules. No.
So what do you think could be the problem of that?
I'm looking at something.
Okay. I'll quickly just run through. Okay, someone in the background has something to say about that. So let me give them. Okay. Virus.
Yeah, okay. So the reason why you cannot get that fees box is because you are checking for the multiples of 3 and 5. Yeah. So the interpreter has to check for the multiples of 3 and 5 first. You get, because if not, whenever he sees the multiples of 3, he just picks it as fees. So whenever he sees multiples of 3 and 5, he just keeps it. And then it will be like, okay, I've already seen a multiple of 3 already, and this is already his scenario have already been solved. So no need for me to check multiples of 3 and 5 anymore, since I've already seen multiples of 3. And so the multiples of 5 here too will also be clouding the multiples of these 3 and 5. So there's no way you will get multiples of 3 and 5 at once. You actually have to check for it. The interpreter has to check for it first in every iteration.
Yes. I think so, yes.
Okay.
So that one should be the first one.
Okay.
So
So I'm
it should be-
cutting.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hold on. Let me just copy everything.
Or
So-
perhaps you have just copied the number you got to the place, okay?
So which one should be the last one? It's correct now.
10. No, line 10. L if. Line 10. L if.
Then you have to change that to Elif.
Okay.
Indentation error.
Where?
Your if statement.
First if.
If.
First if.
The first if.
Okay. No?
No.
If.
The if
Line
statement
8.
itself.
I'm taking it front.
Back.
Backwards. Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so our program is here now. It's correct now.
Thank you.
All right. So I believe when next you see this particular program again, you will know how to do it because you've done it yourself now in public. Okay. This is the essence of it. You've done it before, you've done it again, and now you've done it again. So you are not going to forget it again, I assure you. Okay, Blessing.
Okay.
I'll hear from you now, Blessing.
Okay. All right. So I wanted to add that for every multiple of 3 and 5,
Okay.
it's also a multiple of 15. So you can just, instead of having two statements there, you can just simply say, if number modulo 15 is equal to 0, it will also give you the same thing.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
15 equals 0. This is better. This is shorter. Okay. Yes, of course. It does. So this is nice. So this is for Christian and more and any other person who likes his voice. And thank you, Blessing, for helping us with that. Okay, this is actually nice, and thank you, everybody. So you see, when we do it together like this, it's more fun than when one person is doing it. So let's check for another one. I didn't, this is something I couldn't do alone. Yeah, I couldn't do this alone. I had to do it to somebody, and this is C. So I wouldn't say we should go inside of this. Let's check if we have another Python. 9.09, wow, that's terrible. The program that prints the, okay, someone hand is up. Okay, our phones, please speak.
If you can go back to the code, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to ask about that, the end, and the quotations. Can't I leave a space inside the fees, for example, fees booze, and I put a space afterwards as we have been doing in C? Will it bring an error?
No, it will not print an error, but it will print everything on new. Okay, let me show you. Let me remove this end and show you. But it's going to be a very long ride. I think we've discussed this end for a while. So I'll remove it. So I'll run the program again, and this is what we have. So we have from 1 to 100 on the new line. So what the end is basically doing there is saying, instead of going on a new line, rather continue on the same line with. Now, just to clarify us on that, when you add the end to it, whatever you put inside of this code is what is going to be separated with what you have here. So I will just go ahead and put it back on all of them and show you how it works. I think we've done this like 3 times now. So the reason, let me run it again. Okay. Okay, so the reason we are having space in between them is because we said we should end each of this thing we have here with a space. Remember, I said whatever goes inside of here is what is going to separate what we have. So if I should put something like a slash here, and I run my code, okay, let me run that. Sorry, excuse me. Where's my this? I'm coming, please excuse me. Okay, so let me just add this here and run the code again. I want you to really get it, just like everybody. So if I run this program again,
it seems the screen is hanging. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah, so you see now that it's ending each of these with a slash because that's what I specified here. So whatever you specify inside of this place, that is what is going to end your iteration with. I hope you understand. So if I wanted a comma and a space, I could just do something like this and it works. So yes, that's basically it. And I run it again. Yep. So if you see it now, this is how it works. This is what the end does. Alphonse, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. So, okay, it's 10:15 already, and people in the eastern or the central part of Africa, it's already like 12 o'clock in their own side. So this is where we always want to end our meet. So I believe we've all learned something from our session today on functions. We've all understood the basic part of the function, and we've seen how we could use functions to solve some of our attacks. So that it will not look like they teach us 1 + 1 and they give us another thing. But rather, if you understand the concept, it's the same thing you should be doing inside of this place. I don't know why it's called 9 here. And function basically is nothing but just having other things that you already know inside of it. Okay, so function is just a name for your main program or breaking your main program into smaller pieces. Like if you watch here, we have our 4 statements here. We have the if, else, else, if, and everything. So we just put all those things. If you wrote this, if I wrote this, maybe I say come out of my function and I remove this, it will still work, right? Remove this. If I run this program, it will still give me the same thing. It will still work. So let's say maybe I wanted to do maybe somewhere in my program again. I'm having a very long program. I want to still have this kind of thing. Instead of me to have to write the same code again over and over again. Like maybe I wanted to use it again somewhere in my program, and I copy and paste, and I'll have that like multiple times when I run it. Network will allow me. But when you run it again, you have ×2 of what we've written. So instead of it to have that, we put it inside a function, and then you could just call your function without you having to write the same thing over and over again, and it will give you that which you wrote inside your function. So that's basically what function is. There's no big thing in function. If you understand the other things in the program, definitely just define a function and put that particular thing inside, and it works. So the session for today was just about functions, for us to conclude on the while loop and then on the function. And we've seen how it's been done. So before I end the meet, I want to ask if anybody has more questions or contributions to what we just did now. Anybody, if you want to speak, please you just raise up your hand and I'll give you the chance to speak. Anybody? Let's just be quick so that we could go and rest. Okay, since nobody has anything to say. So I want to tell us that when we had our last meet, when the team leads had their last meet, we discussed, there was a time where we had to bring someone like an outsider, a front end Dave, to come and speak to us about tech, but generally. Okay, so it was an insightful one when we had him around. So since then, we haven't been able to do something like that again. So we discussed that we should keep on doing that. And we hear some of these success stories and what is happening in the real world in a particular career path is going to also encourage us to do more and put in more effort. So because of that, we'll be having a guest with us tomorrow, which is Friday. We're having a back-end engineer or a back-end developer with us. He's an experienced person. He has been in the industry for long. And so we've met with him, we've talked to him, and he said he's going to be available tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be having him by 8 p.m. West African time. So I will encourage everybody to please come out when it is time, or come out earlier than that, maybe at least 5 minutes to 8 o'clock West African time, so that our guests won't have to come and wait for us. Okay? So please, if you have friends too that you think they're going to benefit from that, some of us are having issues identifying the front end and back end, and we've not still chosen which of the path we want to go down with. So I believe when we have him around, he will help break down the differences between that, and also give us how it is on a daily, what your main job is. And from there, we could get to choose our career path or our specialization as time goes on. So by tomorrow, 8 p.m., please, everybody should come out. And if you have any questions, we write them down so that when it's time for you to ask your question, you can ask him anything and we're going to answer you. So that was one of the most important announcements I had for us today. And I believe we've all gotten value from our session today. And please, when we call on you, from time to time, we said we'll be having other persons who also teach in the sessions, just like what we did now. I told you to do something and then you did. Okay, please, I'm sorry, there's my network. It locked me out. So as I was saying, whenever you are called upon to take a particular role in the community, please always also try to respond with a good attitude. Good attitude, I mean, you should also try to do something. Sometimes from the way you teach or from when you teach, you get to learn more than when you just come and listen to it. Okay, so I think that will be all for now. If you have anything or any questions, your suggestions, contributions, you could send it to my inbox and we will discuss about it and see how we could implement whatever it is you have for us. So till we meet again, I want to thank everybody for coming out and I appreciate you a lot. Till tomorrow by 8 p.m. Everybody, good night. So you can unmute your mic now and say good night, everybody.
The virus, we need you. Always try and come every time.
Yes, they should, right? They should. Okay, thank you, everybody, and good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Good night, Anna.
Good night, everybody.